filming. Sometimes I put the timer on and I can't even tell if it's like filming. So, first off, I super apologize for my voice. I had my voice all day. The minute I want to make a video, it's just out the window. So, I'm drinking hot chocolate. And it should be Theraflu, but whatever. I'm like addicted to hot chocolate. So, I'm gonna try and like not sound too like a guy right now. Like it's really low. So I'm gonna try and like not like scream because I don't want to wake my mom up, but I'll clear my throat. Okay. So anyways, my friend River, he's one of the closest people I know. He's one of my dearest friends. He's an amazing individual. He made a video today, and well, I guess it was yesterday. It's like 5 o'clock in the morning. Oh my gosh. So he made a video yesterday, and first off to River, I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. Your video was so good. It was you. It was amazing. And for you to have the courage to make a video and just talk about everything that was on your mind and anything and really just be you and have the courage to do that and just express your feelings. I'm so proud of you, River. You're amazing. You're amazing. I'm just so proud of you. And I think this is gonna help you so much. I'm always here for you, and I'm always up for making video responses to you. Except my voice, pardon the voice. But anyways, River, I'm so proud of you. It was a wonderful video, and that's why I'm making this one. Honestly, is I originally wanted to make these videos mainly because I was dealing with like a lot of like depression and things like that for so long, and I was just like, I had to do something about it. I don't want to go talk to a therapist. I usually get so pissed off in therapist's office because they're so chill. It actually pisses me off. I've been in a therapist's office where they just want to talk to you, and of course, like I don't let anybody get a word in edgewise. So the minute they're just sitting there calm, it just pisses me off. They're like, "Relax, Jen, relax." And I'm like, seriously, yeah. So I'd rather talk to my camera, talk to my friends, talk to whoever, because I just feel like I can be me. And with depression, things like that, usually that's a symptom of something. So I have BPD, and there's a whole bunch. And by the way, I can't give medical advice. None of your friends can give medical advice. Sorry, you hear my throat, right? None of your friends can, unless you're a doctor. You can't give medical advice. This is just my opinion, the way I see things. So I can be completely wrong. I'm just saying my opinion. But anyways, with BPD, there's a whole bunch of personality disorders, and that's one of them. So usually, you can take a bunch of these online quizzes and see what's wrong with you. I don't usually like to say what's wrong with you because I think everybody and anybody has something with their personality, right? So personality disorder, it's 9 of them, and then a bunch that are really uncategorized, something like that. Oh. By the way, worst video ever. I can barely talk. But I really feel like I want to talk right now. I can't sleep. I can't sleep at all. I haven't slept in 3 days. Holidays? Dude, the minute I got my medicine, and now I'm I can't sleep. It's not cool. So, pardon me if I'm this is a crappy video, right? But I'm trying to get the voice out. So anyways, back to what I was saying. With personality disorders, they have a lot of different types. They have people who are narcissistic, personality disorder, and I have borderline, and there's just so many. And you can take the online quizzes, and usually it'll kind of give you direction, but I always recommend going to a psychiatrist, not just one. I recommend getting diagnosed by 6 or 7. I'm telling you, I lived in Montana, Utah, Canada, Texas. I have lived a lot of places. usually after a while, you kind of get like, what are the psychiatrists, you know, what's pretty much the average of what they're kind of all agreeing on, because a lot of the older psychiatrists will quickly say like bipolar. Well, any educated person, if you look it up, I mean, there's so many types of bipolar. I think it's too vague. You know, nowadays, like, you know, you kind of come to a consensus. I have like a speech impediment. But you know, you just get like an idea, usually after a few psychiatrists, of what's wrong with you. But I think most people, you have a personality, right? So what would be normal? You know, just, I think most people probably just have great control, and people that probably don't have control of their emotions, and they feel like they're out of control, and you know, like me, like I feel like, man, I feel like I'm the weirdest person on the planet. I swear to God, I am like the only person on the planet who's just this weird. Like, dude, oh God, not normal is me. Like, that's what I feel like. So that's probably, you know, like an overstatement. You know, I don't know. It's probably like it sounds weird, right? So obviously then I have like a personality disorder. I think most people, their personality, they have control of emotions. I think I'm a normal person. So I think, you know, obviously I don't have any control of my emotions. But yeah, well, like no shit. Look at my timeline. What the hell? You know how many times I have to go back and like delete posts? This is so humiliating. Oh jeez. You see how many videos that I have uploaded and made private before anybody could see it? And I was like, thank God. Thank God. I have no control of my emotions. This phone has heard some things where I'm just like pissed off, and yeah. Anyway, I can't stay on topic. Yeah, it's ADD, whatever. So, whatever I was trying to get back to, not control of your emotions. I think those people then necessarily will think that they have maybe a disorder. But I think everybody in general, something, you know, depression's normal. Being happy is normal. Every emotion is normal. And that's the thing is, I think some people, they put a lot of emphasis on, if you have a bad emotion, that's not normal. And, you know, I really started to think about it, how it's like, if you're happy, and that's a good emotion, that's normal. And if you're, you know, giggly, silly, that's a good emotion, so it's normal. But anytime you're mad, you're sad, you're depressed, you're angry, I guess that's pretty much, I said 4 things, but it's like the 2 the same. I mean, anything that's a negative emotion, then people suddenly think that's not normal. So are we putting like, is there almost a stigma that if you have any negative emotion, then that's not normal? I mean, it should just be in general. If you have emotion, that's normal. I think it's when we stop having any emotion, that's when we would need to worry and say, there's something wrong with you, dude. Like, you don't have any emotion. That's just the way I'm seeing it. I just have too much emotion. But, you know, the one thing is, like, back to my point, I wanted to make these videos to talk about, you know, just like mental illness, and, you know, there's a lot of personality disorders, and I think a lot of people don't realize that that's probably what it is. If you look up how many different kinds there are, you probably can find, you know, the root of why you're feeling like that. And I mean, it really helps to just find out what is your, when I found out I was BPD, it was just like, oh God, I could have wrote a song. Sorry, I would have won a Grammy or something. That's how like empowered I felt. I felt, oh my God, I know what's wrong with me. Okay, I'm BPD. Now I can figure it out. Not really, but it helped so much. You know, you start to learn about your personality. And the one thing with BPD, and this is like River, you know, mainly, you know, there was something you posted about Kurt Cobain, and so I'm just gonna put you in just like a personality or mental illness. Okay, mental illness. I used to find when I was like really depressed, I would read about Kurt Cobain and every single celebrity that has committed suicide, had bad depression. I still have a habit of going to a lot of these dark poets, and I think a lot of people that deal with any mental illness, they really have a tendency to go to these, you know, to these artists, these people that do not have the typical, I'm not going to say normal, the typical life that most individuals have. So, we concentrate on these celebrities, and that's what they are, Ripper, is these things can be triggers for people like us with mental illness. There's two things. Like, I always used to do the same until I realized I was doing it, and it would trigger me into a whole bunch of other stuff when I would, get depressed and read about these kind of things. So, I'll explain to you what a trigger is in a minute, but with mental illness, try to stay away from any, as much as, like, you want to go read about it, right? Like, whenever I get depressed, I want to listen to, like, Nirvana songs and Blue October, and, like, I have a whole playlist of these depressing ass, I committed suicide, I slit my wrist, like, so depressing. You want to do that, and like, okay, that's, it would make you feel better, in a way, maybe it makes you feel better for a second. You really got to force yourself to stay away from it if you have, honestly, a mental health issue. I think, people that don't deal with depression, who don't deal with suicide, cutting, any of that kind of stuff, it's totally fine for them. But you have to realize that even though, it's something that it feels good to listen to that kind of music and read about their biographies, we just have to not. I'm telling you, River, don't read about it. Don't read about these celebrities, don't read about suicide, don't read about, like, I'll post something that said, this many people have committed suicide, because of this we need to pay more attention. I will not go into reading why they committed suicide. I'm the kind of person that could go like this if I read too much into that suicide, it's going to trigger me, and it's not good. I mean, I could be, like, off the edge and, like, I'm not going to kill myself, but, like, want to kill myself. Those are triggers. So, with mental illness, like, I tried sending you a link, River, and I posted some things, like, triggers are a little hard to explain. Like, how is, like, posting links off of Wikipedia. Okay, so, like, a trigger, you have to identify these. These are the best things for you to identify. And if you can find the strength, anybody with mental illness, to identify these things, they're even more beneficial to your friends and family. Because then they know exactly, they can see your triggers, they can see something that's going to trigger you before you can, and then you can all work together. Like, how's this? Nobody wants to see me slitting my wrist. I mean, if you, most people, I've talked about, like, I used to cut when I was, like, younger, like, I really, like, okay, how's this? There was times where I really wanted to commit suicide, and I'm being honest, like, I didn't have, like, a sucky life. I have the most wonderful life. I always have, and I've always been, like, an overachiever. Well, right now I'm like I am beyond underachiever. Oh, Jesus Christ, I am such a failure. But in the past, I was really, like, an overachiever, and I didn't realize, like, my triggers, like, if I was not first, like, and I would move around, we'd move, and I'd have to be, like, constantly the new student, and I'd have to be like, oh, now I have to accomplish all this stuff again. There was times where it was so much stress, or I really wanted to kill myself, and I used to, like, honestly be like, okay, it's done. So I had to go back after years and years and think about, like, okay, what were these things that made me do that? Those are called triggers. These things, like, none of my friends and family, I don't think want to see me one day with cuts on my wrists, or, they don't want to find out that I killed myself or see me in a hospital. So you got to work together with your friends and family. If you're healthy and happy, they're healthy and happy. And, I always would say, like, I'm a burden on everybody, and that's why I'll, like, kind of distance myself from everybody. And that's probably, that's not a good thing. You don't want to think you're a burden, but you definitely want to keep yourself happy and healthy for everybody's benefit. So identifying your triggers. You know what? By the way, I have, like, 4 minutes left in my video. I must make long videos, because how do I have, like, 18 minutes on my camera? So you can find your camera. Okay, I'll have to delete some things. I'll make, like, 2 videos. So anyways, just when I get talking and, okay, anyways. So these triggers, you need to identify them. I went back and realized there's some things I cannot do, or I have to pinpoint really fast, and I'm getting good at it now. And I have to stop it there and say, you know what, this is going to trigger me. And to be honest, this couch used to be a trigger. And I swear to God, it sounds really weird. You know, like this relationship, if the world doesn't know, then oh my God, I'm gonna go right on their Facebook wall about my relationship. Yeah, so I went through this horrible breakup, and I've been shoving it in everybody's face forever. And by the way, this still hurts. This is like so bad. This furniture, like, you know, furniture we had in our apartment, like that was our furniture, right? So a lot of this shit, now I'm feeling sad. A lot of this furniture was with my relationship. Like, we bought it together, paid it off together. And so, like, I used to come upstairs and I'd be like, I don't want, like, you always see the videos at the computer, right? It's like, I didn't want to sit on this furniture. It brought back really bad memories. And then I would feel really depressed. There's trigger. I sit here and I'd be like, oh, you know, I miss my ex. We bought this together. We went there and looked at it. And then I start thinking, like, oh, and we broke up. And you're just like, it's like a trickling, like, path. And it just, you go down there. And then the next thing you know is I'm like, oh my God, I can't be alone. And, you know, this sucks. And, you know, I had to wait until I was just like, you know, now I can start unpacking. But I still have boxes downstairs. I swear I have a ton of boxes. My mom's probably like, Jen, what the hell? But there's some boxes I can't go through right now. I don't want to go through albums. They're mixed with other stuff that I want to keep. But I don't have the strength to look at them right now. Oh, that sucks. That really does suck. Okay, I have to delete a video. Okay, so I'm gonna make a part 2. Part 2? Okay, so hopefully I can remember this by the time I delete this video. So, one second.